Welcome to the Mole Confidential Season 3, Episode 2.
All right, we are back in Mole Confidential. Today we have D, Extra, Mario, Danny, Giz, Wolf, Piper, and Ross. So we're here to talk about all things Mole for Episode 2 that you guys have just seen. So our first segment we're going to do is, it seems like you guys wanted to see more info on the mansion. So Giz pretty much built this mansion, so take it away, Giz.
Yeah, so this year we kind of wanted a darker theme. I mean, I asked Boz what kind of building he wanted, and he said he wanted a dark kind of structure, kind of mansion-looking thing. So to start with, we found a nice open area, and there was lots of groundwork to be done. So I think Danny and Wolf helped me lay out the area, make it nice and flat. And then I kind of started with cobblestone and stone on the bottom bit, but I wanted some at the top as well. So that's kind of where the players' rooms are above, and below is kind of the chill out areas, and obviously the elimination room.
And we also wanted it on a hill.
Yeah. So you can see the big pathway leading up to it in the intro.
And it looked really imposing looking down.
I think it turned out really well. I mean, it's not exactly what I wanted it to be, but I think it looks pretty cool.
Are we doing a tour inside?
Yeah.
If you guys want to. Yeah?
Yeah. Lower floor only.
Okay, so this is obviously the intro room where players would wait after they came inside, and some of them were staying behind here, as you can see in some of the screenshots in episode 1 at the end of it. And the right, the pool and the elimination room, this way.
I love the pool this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with swimming pools because of the TARDIS. Because the TARDIS had a swimming pool inside of it, so I had to have a swimming pool in everything. So this is the swimming pool, but if you can fly up, you can actually see the swimming pool is a question mark.
Ooh.
Originally, this was fire at the bottom of it, below it, but it caused a lot of fire spread accidents. I think Wolf and Danny saved me a few times when that was happening. One time the mansion almost literally burnt down entirely. It was a nightmare. And the sauna room as well. Limol sauna. I was going to put fire in here, but again, the fire spread thing, I just... too much work to get it to be perfect and not burn down. This is areas where the players could just chill out during downtime and stuff, and just mess around swimming, have a nice little wash and shower. And through here, with the dining hall first. Another area where the players can just chill out and just pretend to... I'm very much OCD with my builds. I like to have semi-realism to them, so I wanted the players to have a nice area where they could just relax and sit down for meals and chat. And then through here, that leads upstairs to the bedrooms. Let's have a quick look up. Nice kind of spiraling. I wanted it to be taller, but I think it looks good.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And then we can just go back to the elimination room through the main entrance. I labelled everything as well, so people wouldn't get lost. It's not... You wouldn't get lost though, would you really? It's not that big.
There's only a handful of rooms.
Yeah, obviously here's the mole's part and the player's part, and then in here is the elimination room.
You can see it's red.
Oh.
Ooh.
Someone must have died there.
Oh no, if you look up, you can see another question mark again. With the lights.
I never knew that.
I never noticed that.
Originally, I had it where all these lights here would go out one by one when a player was eliminated, but it didn't really work out in the end, and I just kind of scrapped the idea. And the room isn't actually equal, which bothers my OCD to no end, but meh. And yeah, below we can see the fiery pit of doom. I think Boz, he wanted an actual death this time. Instead of like just falling into a hole. When you die and eliminated by the mole, you are dead.
And I did want to make sure that when Giz did this, that the spot they stood in was a no-brainer, where they wouldn't have to fall into just a one-block hole, because I didn't like those situations where a player didn't actually fall down into the hole.
Yeah, so this is a tour of the first floor.
Should we show them the secret of the switch? Or should we not reveal the secret of the switch?
No, don't reveal it. Let's do that at the end, at the very last episode.
So teasers.
So, Piper, talking about next season, are we going to be doing a season 4?
Possibly. We don't know yet. We've not spoken officially whether there's going to be a 4th season. Possibly. I think after season 3, because of the amount of work it was, and I don't know how Boz has done the first 2 seasons back to back, and then the 3rd season. I think we're going to give it a bit of a break. But if we do ever do a season 4, and if we do ever include fans again, which we possibly might do, keep watching the channel because all the information will be up there.
Very true. All right, another comment that came up, and maybe we should warp to Chal. Was it Chal 2?
Yeah.
So we're back here on I'm on a Boat. And again, kudos to Danny on this one. It really turned out well. But one of the comments, and this was actually from a player in the mole, he mentioned not being able to see the sign. And that if it was fair that there was a question about this sign when some players didn't actually run this leg. These two, or the first 2 players would have seen this, but the persons on the last leg wouldn't have. And the response to that, you may have seen, but in general it is, once a challenge is over, I'll always tell the players, feel free to look around, and when you're done, head on back to the mansion. At that time, what I like to see the players do, and what they should do, and I think pretty much all of them do, is they run around and they look at the challenge, they examine everything, looking maybe for signs. In some cases, you may be looking just to say, okay, it seemed like they struggled a little bit on this particular part of this challenge, but I wasn't there for that, so let me go look at it and see, is it that hard, or could there have been some molish behavior? So it's very important for the players to use that time. And I give them as much time as they need. But there are signs hidden, there are clues, there may be different things that they need to check out. After the challenge is over, that's the time where they have to do it. And I think you guys that have played it, I haven't, can probably expand on that. In like seasons 1 or 2, you guys probably were taking a lot of notes on everything.
Yeah, literally, you'd write notes on every single thing that happens. I think there was one challenge when there was a maze, and it was very obvious there must have been a sign in there. But to go around the maze, I just didn't want to, so I didn't in the end.
Yeah, so that should hopefully cover that topic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to warp to challenge 3, and Piper's going to give a little background on that challenge.
So I built this challenge. This was the word challenge. Get your word on. Oh, I didn't realise that. Get your word on, like get your seed on. Yeah. So sorry. We wanted to make this challenge, like we wanted to make the whole season a bit darker and a bit more evil. So I kind of went with the is it mycelium? I think that's how you pronounce it. So it gives off the what's the word for it? Sorry, I'm getting tired. That's why I
Evil?
can't remember.
Particle effect.
Particle effect. Thank you. So it gives off the particle effect, which I think was quite evil. And then I put lava lamps in as well, not the pretty kind of lava lamps. But it's all very dark and like slimy on the walls, and yeah. And I did a lot of copying and pasting with Word Edit with this. I learnt how to, like, I built one. I think the first one that I built was this one here. And then I learnt how to like copy it and paste it all over, so they're all the same. I was very proud of that.
And you even rotated them.
And I even rotated them as well. So yeah, it's just a more general, darker, more evil kind of season, and that's what I was aiming for this challenge.
One thing we should probably show too is the room itself.
Oh yeah, have a look inside.
So the phrase is right there, and Piper can talk about all this if she likes.
Which one are you in, Buzz?
Is this number 1?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking of how many words you can get out of, like, I thought we would have to have like a super long phrase, but once you get who is the mole, I just put it into a Google thing and it came up with loads of them. So yeah, we've got, I can't remember who was in the first one, but this person's guess is in here. So I thought it was quite cool actually. I like doing word puzzles myself, a bit geeky, but yeah. So yeah. Don't know what else to say. This is the challenge I built.
I think, didn't I put a sign in when we first started building this that said Piper Smells, and you copied it?
Yes,
the room?
I had to go through and take them all off. Anyway,
Because
I
every
think
room had Piper Smells in it, and you didn't even realise. I was like,
Yeah.
Piper.
yeah, that is true. Anyway, let's.
I'm sorry for trolling you.
Shall we move over to challenge 4 and then Gizmo can show everyone his challenge?
Yes, parkour pool. Yeah, so this is parkour pool challenge 4. Obviously, it's a very much physical jumping based challenge. I wanted to have 2 sections as well. So obviously, if they get through it, they hadn't got to redo the entire thing if they're halfway. I think who helped me with this one? It was most of you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Who was
we were all
helping?
there.
Yeah.
I think we all tested it as well.
I think Danny and Wolf definitely did the redstone though, and there
Yep.
was quite a few flood incidents with the redstone, and it was. I think the redstone runs directly underneath it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should we break a few blocks and then you can see?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so you see you got a button back here that... So what we wanted was the ability for the contestants to actually make it through the door at the other side without it being just a short little flip and then the door came open. So what we had to do is actually build at the other end underneath where the door opens. We built... it's just a whole lot of long redstone. And can we actually see it down here? No, yeah. If you actually come down here, we built a delay circuit. So if you fall down through here, so essentially the redstone all comes up through there, and what this does is it essentially stores the state, whether it's on or off. And so you push the button, it turns on and opens the door, and that state is stored until the next charge makes it through all of these delays and gets back to the block. So we could actually make it as long of a delay as we really wanted to. This took a little while to figure out, but it ended up working out pretty well. The thing we wanted to do is try and work it in as small a space as possible, and the thing that I was building was just like huge, ridiculous, and finally this is what we came up with.
The idea here was that we wanted to have a chance for confusion, the delay causing issues, or the delay being useful by players or by the mole to try to confuse or to throw the challenge.
And there's actually a hidden sign somewhere. Where is it? Where is it?
Oh, I don't remember.
It's here. In the second half.
Yeah. And again, Buzz gave a lot of time for people to wander around.
Yep.
See what they could see.
Yeah, and we also wanted to have this wall here. I don't know, Giz, you want to explain what the purpose of the wall over here on both sides was for?
I think it was to stop the players from running back to the start, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, once they finished the challenge, and any of the players besides the last few, I mean, it gave them a chance to walk around and watch the other players, but they couldn't get back and then maybe get in line again or confuse players and have a situation maybe where somebody's like, oh, I didn't know it was my turn, or just, totally throw things off. But they were still able to watch, which is important because if you think the mole is trying to do something mole-ish, or if you want to see if somebody's acting mole-ish, you can't do it if you're stuck down at just that end.
And shall we preview another challenge?
Yes, we can. All right, so here you can see a challenge coming up on our next episode. What could this be?
Ooh.
All right, thank you, Boz. I'm here on location with this last week's eliminated player. Extra fun. Extra, it's good to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
Woo!
Thank you, sir. My first question for you, Extra Fun, is how did it feel playing the mole?
It was extremely fun, especially this year with friends of the crew and other people taking part. But yeah, it's the same as every year. It's always fun, it's always thrilling, and it's always good to see how far people get.
And were you sad that you were eliminated so very early on?
I was a little disappointed. I especially expected it to last longer, but I feel, at least now I know, that I think it's probably time to change my strategy for next time.
And what strategies did you use this time?
Most of the time, whenever the questionnaire come up, I would answer all the questions with the same person.
And how do you think you could possibly change that next time?
Maybe scatter the votes around a bit more, so all the votes don't go against my favour.
Okay, thank you, Extra, for joining us here on The Mole Confidential.
Thank you.
All right, so we can see here a nice little special message left in Extra's room. It says, "No more gardens for you. Love the mole." And it's shaped like an M.
I think that's quite sad.
Yeah. And there's another RIP, Extra Fun, love the mole.
It's still a garden. I think Extra would have, liked it.
All right, so our next segment is to let you guys know how things went where you're voting on who you think is the mole. Now remember, we always give you a full week. So this is who you guys voted for, who you think is the mole after episode 1 aired. And you guys think Timon is the mole.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Mm.
Right or wrong, you're just going to have to wait and see. And lastly, a favorite segment of all of ours.
Yay.
Giz?
The mole comment of the week.
All right. Our mole comment for season 3, episode 2 comes from Max251967. And Max says,
The mole is terrific fun, but the mole's work has just begun. Time again his victims fall, as he hides behind his sneaky wall. I know your name, you shifty mole, but if I'm wrong, I'll go down that hole, winky face. Oh dear.
and there you have it, guys, for our second episode of Mole Confidential. Look forward to seeing the mole this coming Friday. And keep studying, trying to figure out who is the mole. And if you guys want to say goodbye, we will head out.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.